Well, I came up with something creepy. I bet you're surprised. No, you're not. I just wanted to do something extra creepy this time round. So, I spent yesterday designing her. She's originally going to be a doll, but I ended up going with another kind of like a display piece, I suppose you'd like to call her. She's sitting on a stand and she's got some vines everywhere. And I'm sorry for all you people out there who suffer from trypophobia. If you're a trypophobic person, I think that's how you say it, don't watch this because... Okay, so let's go and watercolor this bitch up and see what she looks like. So to start this piece off, I decided to do what I have been doing for a while now, is colouring in the back of the picture that I draw in my sketchbook and then tracing it onto where I'm going to do the illustration. In this case, I did it in my Strathmore mixed media journal because I love that paper. I love it. So I did that and I just traced around the picture as I have been doing lately, as you've been seeing in a lot of the stuff. I'm just finding it's just so much easier, and I'm sort of relaxed a bit more with doing this, and that's why I have been doing it, so I can just, you know, sit back, watch TV, you know, let the hours fly by, and I can just chill and just do this, and then knowing that I can just transfer it to wherever I need to by colouring in the back, and yeah, just doing it that way. I'm just really enjoying that, and it sort of takes, because I'm trying to find ways to stop myself from getting so stressed about how I want to do this, and sort of trying to make it easier for myself, and just streamlining my work, really. So that's the story behind that. Well, now the story behind this piece too is the fact that I wanted to draw a doll, and I also wanted to do a trophy looking piece as well, because I love doing these pieces where they're cut off at the chest, and I've done quite a few of those, and I don't know, it adds a really creepy element, and I really just like doing them. And so I sat myself down, as I do, and I said to myself, I said, compromise. And I compromised with myself. That didn't sound weird. Anyway, I decided to do a creepy doll, and she's her skin, or, you know, flaky, whatever you want to call it, just like the paint. The paint is peeling from her face and from her body, and she's got all these holes. I just wanted to add so much to this piece that is creepy and mystical, and it sort of leaves you going, what was in your brain when you created this? And then that's where I was going with this. There's no rhyme or reason for this. Everything that you see, I just really just wanted to add into this piece. Underneath the paint is kind of like, I sort of wanted to recreate like a concrete type look to what's underneath her paint. So she's like, she's concrete. Yeah. And then I added the holes in her face on one side and in one side of her body to sort of add like a, I don't know, just a creepy element. I really love adding just creepy features like her mouth. Her mouth is just huge, and I wanted to do big ass teeth, big ass grinny blocky teeth, and she's just grinning, and it's just creepy because it's like, why are you happy? Because you're a creepy ass looking doll, like half piece weird creation. And yeah, that's what I wanted to really sort of get across in this. And the eyes, I got the idea from a picture on Pinterest of one of those creepy dolls, like those baby dolls. And one of the pictures of this creepy baby doll that you give like kids is like the eyes, one of the eyes is rolled back. And I saw that and I went, I have to do that in this piece. I have to add that creepy element of just one eye is just looking up like it's just rolling back. Now I'm doing her hair purple because I actually asked my partner what I should do the hair. I said to him, I said, what color do you want me to do the hair? And he didn't even hesitate. He just went purple, and I went, okay. So that's why the hair is purple. So that you can, if you're a purple fan, which I know some of you are, you can thank my partner for that because that was his input into this piece. And another element to this I really like that I wanted to add was, and it sort of was a late thing that I did, was how I've cut the arms off. Now, she's supposed to be a concrete doll. And when you look at her arms, why are her arms fleshy and why are they bleeding? Because as I go on through the piece, you'll see that I do add like she's been cut, like it's cut off and there's blood. So there's another, you know, mysterious element I wanted to add to this piece where people just look at it and go, what? Like she's concrete underneath. Why is she bleeding? Why are her arms bleeding? So you know, I'll let your imaginations, you know, just run with that one. And the spikes coming out of the arms and coming out of the chest part there and the neck and the top of the head, they were like a late addition. I had drawn her up and I wasn't going to really do much else, and then I don't know, I just felt like those arms needed something, so I ended up adding spikes to it, and then I thought, well, I sort of wanted to carry that throughout the piece to be a bit more unison, so I did that, and that's why there are spikes everywhere. Also, because the hair is purple as well, I decided to sort of carry that purple colour through to her lips, and yeah, do her lips a bit of a darker purple. The hair has a little bit of a pastel-y purple to it. I sort of mixed the purple with a little bit of blue to sort of get that look, because I thought it was a lot better than just plain purple. And she took me, oh my god, like I've got hours and hours of footage of doing this piece. Like this took me, I did this piece over a couple of days, and yeah, like all up, I think I've got like 4 hours of footage on my phone of recording this. She took me a while, and I did cut some pieces out of this because this video would have been so long, because I worked on her hair, I worked on the colors, like I layered the colors, like just alone. The watercolor, just doing that alone took me 2 hours to do. That's without the line art, and that's without the sketching. So that's over 2 days. Yeah, it's over 2 days of doing all of this, and I really enjoyed working on it. And I really wanted to get her like right, because with her, like I don't hate anything about this, and that's really hard for me to say, because I always dislike something about the piece. But I don't know, I find it hard to hate anything about this when it's fully done. I really like it, and this probably the first piece in a very long time that I have been happy with. It doesn't make sense, but I am extremely happy with it. And yeah, I seem to really like the pieces that don't make sense the most, because they sort of just happen. And I didn't put too much thought into this one, and I just sort of, I just chilled and I just cruised, and I just drew her over time, and yeah, I'm just happy. I'm just happy with. Probably the biggest thing with this too is I really struggled with a lot of the shading, because the source light is coming down from the top right, but it's sort of coming from behind, and I sort of wanted to have that effect, because as you can see, the spikes have a shadow that's pointing downwards, sort of to the left. And I thought, well, I thought that was a nice look, and I sort of went, oh shit, how am I going to do the rest of the shading for that? So, the shading could be a little bit iffy. I tried my best to cater for that kind of sort of source light angle, but yeah, I really just then went around and put shading where I felt that it looked good. And yeah, some of the shading may not make sense, but I feel as though it looks okay. So that's why it's sort of done like that, because yeah, I sort of just struggled a bit there, and I do struggle a lot with the shading. Shading's a big thing for me, and it's sort of it does intimidate me at times, because I sort of get a little bit confused with the source lighting, but I also just forget. Like I could look at a picture a million times and then just completely, forget spots on the piece. And then I will, and I think I've already said this, I go back, a couple of days later, and then I will see where I have missed so much, and then I just go and touch it up. So the question is, would you have this piece on your mantelpiece? Would you display this if you had it? Like, no, I wouldn't. As much as I love drawing stuff like this, if this actually existed, there is probably a pretty slim chance I would have it in the house, because I watch a lot of horror movies and I would be really worried that this thing would come to life and start like doing those creepy crawling, like, ever seen Terminator, the first one, and you see that thing like crawling with one arm and it's got no legs and it's just really creepy. Like, that's the vision that I have for this thing, and no no, it is not gonna happen. But as for a drawing, this is my jam, and yeah, it stays a drawing and that's it. Yeah, something like this just would be way too creepy, even for me, and you know, I like creepy things, but when it comes to taxidermies, or you know, when it comes to sort of the real creepy ornaments like that, I can't deal. I cannot deal with that. That's too much. So I left it overnight to dry, because by the time I finished her, it was like nearly midnight and I'd had enough. And one of my white gel pens, my white gel pen I've had for ages, died, so I had to get another one. And I really like that white gel pen because it's got a thin tip on it, and I did not want to add too much white gel pen to this picture. I actually debated whether I was going to put white gel pen on it because I didn't think it needed it, but I just needed to add a little bit of something. But seeing that my nice thin gel pen had died and I was not happy, and I ended up with this chunkier one, yeah, I left a fair bit of chunkiness on bits and pieces, so I wasn't really happy. I'm gonna have to go and get another Uniball Signo Angelic. I think it's an Angelic. Yeah. Oh, it's right here. I haven't even thrown it out. Is it the Angelic? Yeah, it's the Angelic one. So yes, so that is my creepy trophy doll inspired piece, and I hope you enjoyed it. And yeah, thank you for watching me draw this up, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next video. Bye bye.